It is not just going to be about generation. It is also going to be about energy efficiency, probably even more as a crucial tool to help us meet some of the targets that we need. I'm very pleased to see that we have a range of different public sector and private sector operators coming together to look to see how we develop a smart metering system. So we actually put some of the power back into the householder to use less electricity. That's not an easy change of mind or change of outlook for an electricity supply company, where the natural instinct in any supply business is I want to sell as much as I can. But we have to start switching to represent our people, to represent our public interests as owners of the company particularly, to actually using less and helping people to use less. And that smart metering project is crucial. It will help us as well in what I see as a second key development, is the ability for us to start developing microgeneration as a significant supply of power into the future for the Irish people. 10 or 15 years ago, had you said that a minister would be here talking about 5,000 megawatts of wind power, they would have laughed at you. Similarly today, I think people underestimate the ability for us, by taking a long-term approach in energy policy, to see microgeneration as a significant supply which rids us of the need for very extensive grids, where we can generate, we can stitch into the building of a building, the ability for a building to power itself and to provide services for the inhabitants. I see it as a crucial development that such microgeneration systems and the grids to support it that are developed in the next few years. Likewise, on a medium-term perspective, when I say medium-term, I'm thinking at the end of the next decade. I see us as having huge potential to solve one of the difficulties we have in the transport sector, in emissions terms, and in air pollution terms, and in safety terms, by developing a fleet of electric vehicles. Ireland is a small island relative to international. We can have confidence that the battery technology will develop, which will allow us to get from Dublin to Galway, and to plug in when we get there so we can get back again, or to stop at a station en route so we can swap our battery or fill up our battery. I think that, as I see it in terms of the changing energy future ahead, is one of the more likely possibilities. We again should be a country which is over-reliant on oil, which is over-reliant on private transport, let us be honest, in our transport system. At least make sure that our private transport system is cleaner and is using those renewable supplies, is actually becoming a store of those renewable supplies, and possibly even down the line being a supply back in itself when batteries can be used as a power supply rather than as storage. I see that as a crucial long-term development. If I can come to a finish though by saying, there was a very interesting presentation which I arranged in Dublin last month. Jonathan Parrott, the head of the Sustainable Development Commission in the UK. He was very eloquent, very optimistic. I think he's spent the last 20, 30 years in trying to deliver this message about what is sustainability. Not an easy word to digest. Frank MacDonald always joked, I thought it was a nice one, he said the definition of sustainable development in Ireland was development that could be sustained. You know, keep going, build as much as you can. It's not an easy concept to get over to the public what it is. One of the cornerstones of his definition, I think it's an important one, is that when we're saying sustainability, we are talking about social sustainability as well as environmental sustainability. He railed against the phenomenon we have typically in large American companies now, where the CEO is earning more in a day than the average industrial wage might be in a year. He argues that that does not bring the coherence and cohesiveness and common purpose that we're going to need for the scale of change we're going to have to make to get from 17 tonnes per head down to 2. And I think he's right. I want to commend in particular ESB and SARE being able to get some agreement recently in the allocation of some of the profits that have come from various different market changes back into a price reduction, because for the public, for all electricity users. That will help us in what is going to be very difficult energy times. You would have to say in all reality, in all honesty, that we are facing into an energy crisis with the sort of price rises we're seeing, with the increasing obvious insecurity of future oil and gas supplies. That sort of approach was welcome. It feeds into the work that my department is now doing in pulling together all the agencies in government with an interest in this fuel poverty issue, which is a serious issue of social sustainability, to see what we can do as well. Minister Mary Hanafin has a crucial role in the Department of Social Welfare. Department of Finance and the companies and main energy companies have come together, first meeting in our department on the 11th of July last, to see what we can do. And we are committed to that, to protect those who are most vulnerable from such energy price rises, as we can move in this transition phase to a lower carbon and lower cost energy system. Wind power is now cheaper than the gas alternative. So we have a path out for our people. We have a good social, as well as economic, as well as environmental message. We have a clear course that we need to take, but in the process, in this stormy, rocky economic weather, we have to work collectively to achieve that. I'm very glad to see Charlie Rorty here of Energy Action. And the fact that some 5,000 houses, if I'm right, in the Warmer Home Scheme will be re-insulated this year, those in more low-income housing, by community involvement, which I think is a very good example of social sustainability, supported by Sustainable Energy Ireland. I'm very glad to see Brendan Halligan here too, as chairman of that organisation. But I'm coming to a finish by saying I am here talking, as I see it more so, as I see those familiar faces, to the ESB staff. One of the changes that has occurred in the 6 months since I spoke at that event on the issue of Ghana was that you have changed your corporate strategy towards this new low-carbon future. You have set your course on a 22 billion investment towards, as Lachlan said, becoming a zero-emissions company. I have a sense from a distance that that has created a sense of energy, of inspiration and excitement among those working in the ESB. People I meet who work in the company came to me days afterwards and said they were proud to be part of an organisation setting itself in that course. I think that's exactly right. I think that pride, matched with the undoubted skills that exist within the ESB, in engineering, in economics, in supply businesses, are going to see you succeed. Succeed in that longer task and succeed in the exemplary work you're doing via John Campion in your own energy use as a model for other companies, and indeed I hope also for the government, who are setting a higher target of their own sector of a 33% reduction in energy use. Achieve it now. I was interested when you said, Port, that John Campion had 9 months to I kind of thought immediately of a pregnancy. I thought of John in 9 months' time with a very large tummy. And that's always funny when you see it on those films where they kind of play that trick. But maybe that's the nature of the world we're in at the moment. We are all learning. We all have a new way to go. All of us. I'm only starting myself to be aware of what I do, of to actually feel comfortable in my own life, in my own everyday activities, to switch to this new low-carbon future. We can do it. Let's get to it. Thank you.